Welcome, friends. This is Under the Arch Sports. I'm Eric.
And I'm David.
And today we are going to preview Mizzou's matchup against the Boston College Golden Eagles. Before we begin, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel and find us on Facebook and Instagram. Yeah, so David, kind of a fun matchup here. What do you think about this?
It's definitely going to be interesting. We've never played Boston College before, especially on the road. So we get to check out a new stadium, a new city. I mean, if you're traveling to Boston, not only do you get to take in the game, but you get to take in the fine city of Boston too. So if I were traveling, especially, I'd be super excited. But it's definitely going to be interesting and fun to watch and see how football happens over in the East Coast.
Yeah, and thousands of Mizzou alumni in the Northeast finally get to see a Mizzou game in their same region, played in the Southeast or in Columbia. They'd have to travel halfway across the country to see a Mizzou game. Not so this week. Now, let's start this by taking a look at the Mizzou offense. So far, Connor Bazelak has been a little bit better than a game manager, still having issues with the deep ball. What do you think about Bazelak so far going into this matchup?
Honestly, in my opinion, he hasn't progressed as much as I'd love to see him. And another key, and he started doing it more against Kentucky, but he's not using his legs as much as I think he should. I mean, when he doesn't have any passes available and he checks down and tries to unload one low, I mean, that's fine and all, but he could probably get the same amount, if not more, yardage by taking the ball and running. Plus, I think it would open up some of those deeper passes because it would suck up the D-backs because they're keeping an eye on what he does.
Yeah, no. If Bazelak, if he needs help getting the offense going, the one guy he can lean on, Tyler BADIE. He's been a monster so far. I think. I don't know. I think he's going to be the determining factor, is what I'm trying to say, and how far the offense will go for the entire season. And I think it's important for him to maintain kind of the balance of running in between tackles and as a receiver.
Yeah, and some of that's just going to be how Drinkowitz calls up plays too. If he calls more of those short passing plays or utilizes them as a receiver, you'll see that more, maybe putting him on like a wheel route to get him around the defensive line, things like that. But I mean, he's a workhorse. He's been tearing it up on the ground. Our offensive line has been slowly getting better. Plus, with the fact that Boston College only has 6 sacks on the season, I would expect our offensive line to actually be able to move some people around, which could open up all kinds of things in our offense.
Yeah, I saw that 6 sacks number, and that was kind of eyebrow raising there. I would have expected them to have more. Looking at the Boston College defense, the leading tackler is Isaiah Graham Mobley. He's a linebacker. In their 3 games, he's got 21 tackles, so he's averaging even 7 per game. I think that's the name that Mizzou fans are going to hear a lot as far as being involved in the Boston College defense. What do you think? What would you like to see out of the offense against the Golden Eagles?
I would like to see them continue trying to open up the deep pass game, as well as utilizing Lovett and Mookie Cooper.
I feel like we're seeing more of both of them every week, and I hope that continues.
Yeah, because I think if not this year, especially down the road, they're going to be our playmakers of the future. So if you can continue to develop them, continue to get them that experience, one of these games, they're just going to light it up for us.
Yeah, they both have the one thing you cannot coach, that being speed. So, if they can get it heavily involved, that is huge, I think, for the offense. Now, let's take a look at the Boston College offense against the Mizzou defense. This is, I think, where the game is going to be won or lost. Looking at the Boston College side of things, they've lost their quarterback, Phil Dracovic. He's out with a hand injury, maybe done for the year. And, in his place, Dennis Grosel, he stepped in week 2 against UMass and did well, had 199 yards passing there. But then last week against Temple was just woof. 5 out of 13 for, I want to say 49 yards. That's off the top of my head. It was under 50. Yeah, that's astonishing how bad that is.
Yeah, and for me, I'm not so much worried about their passing game as I would be their running game.
Yes.
In all honesty, over the 3 games, they've averaged around 206 yards a game. I don't know the exact numbers they had against Temple last week, but I know on average with the 3 games combined, it was around 206 yards. So our defensive line is really going to have to find a way to step up, which, as we've seen in the first couple of games, they haven't. And that's what
Yeah,
really concerns me.
The key here will be slowing down Patrick Garwo. He is the leading rusher for the Golden Eagles. He's got 252 yards in the 3 games they've played. He's averaging 6.8 yards a carry. So just slowing him down is going to be key. The Mizzou front 6 has got to stop the run. And I think this is where the backup quarterback struggling, this could be a factor in the run defense, because depending on how Grosel is playing, if he's playing like he did last week against Temple, Mizzou may be able to either change to a 4-3 and have an extra linebacker, Chad Bailey, come out there, or they can have Jalen CARLIES kind of sag down from the safety position and run support to try and help that front 6 actually do something against the run.
Yeah, if the passing game's not going well, that turns them into a one-dimensional team, and you can really sell out on the run, especially those outside speed options and things like that.
Yeah, that'd be huge if either Grosel is not throwing the ball well, or if the Mizzou corners are able to just be on that island and play good man coverage.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see, especially with Rakestraw out this last week. Now they said he could have gone, but they held him out anyway, so he should be 100% healthy for that game too.
Yeah, it's something where you got to think about it, but having Rakestraw and the rest of the corners effective in coverage, that gives Steve Wilkes the flexibility to have more options in trying to stop the run, because that's where the game will be won or lost, I think.
Now, based off that, let's take a look at our predictions. Eric, what do you think is going to happen in this game?
This is a weird one. In the season preview video, I picked it as a win, and I was fairly confident about it. I'm not as confident, but I'm still going to pick Mizzou. I'm going to go with Mizzou 34-31. I think the going on the road to Kentucky 2 weeks ago, that is going to be that experience is going to pay off. Playing a night game, conference opener, wild crowd, all of that. That experience is going to pay off. It's a 11 a.m. Central, noon in Boston kickoff. So, maybe you get a little bit of a sleepy crowd, just kind of waking up and getting there. It's not going to be as wild, I don't imagine. So I think that experience is going to be big for Missouri, having already dealt with a hostile environment. And I think that, combined with the fact that the offense I think it's improving. So yeah, I'm going to go 34-31 for Mizzou.
Now, as for me, I'm kind of following along the same idea as you in this one. Again, I feel like the environment's not going to be quite as hostile as it was going down to Kentucky. Plus, they have that game experience. And to Mizzou's credit, they came back and made it a ball game. I thought it was going to be a blowout. the way it started, but they really fought. And I think, as you said, the offense is improving every game. I think the offensive line is improving every game. And I think you're going to see them come out and run their normal offensive game and have no issues. My biggest worry would be, again, the defense, especially the run defense. However, if you look back, every single game, Mizzou's forced turnovers, and I think that's going to be the key for this game. Can they force a turnover, win the turnover battle? And I believe they will. So my prediction is going to be 38-35, kind of a shootout game, again, because I don't know what our defense is going to do. But I think they'll get the few key stops they need to pull out the win in this one.
Yeah, I don't think you can predict Missouri to win a game where the offense doesn't put up 30 points. Mizzou's going to have to win shootouts.
Right. Especially right now until they get things figured out on defense.
Exactly.
Anyway, that's all we have for this episode of Under the Arch Sports. Thank you for watching.